Hey Alan, thanks for picking me up, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Levi. Hey, what happened to your car anyways?
Well, apparently my gas gauge doesn't work, so there's that. Oh, hey Alan Jr. Aw, Francisco. Alan, I didn't know you brought the whole gang.
Sorry about the full van. Oh hey, 88.1. Alan Jr. loves this station.
I knew I loved that kid. I always listen to the Evening Jays on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10. 8 to 10 every Wednesday, Evening Jays. This is the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey and with me is Jake.
What up?
So Jake, I have kind of an interesting story for you.
Let's hear it.
So the rapper Young Thug missed his concert.
What?
Yes, I've heard of people being late to a concert, but never missing it completely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is going to cost him over $360,000 is what he's being sued for. Let me break it down for you, the cost. $27,000 for a deposit, $11,000 just in security, $33,000 for lighting and sound, and $57,000 in print, promoting, the venue retail, and insurance and equipment. Like,
Wow.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of money to blow from the song before, like, obviously Young Thug must be like, oh, I'm too good to perform. Like, what do you think was going through his mind?
I have no idea, but I think you'd have to be pretty arrogant to just blow off all your fans like that, for probably a personal reason.
Do you think his fans will, like, stick to it, or do you think they'll be kind of upset about it?
I'd be upset, and I probably wouldn't go to the next concert because I might be wasting my money.
Exactly, like, I don't think they're going to get it back, so... well, next time, maybe you should be a little more responsible. That is No Lie. So No Lie by 2 Chainz featured Drake is next on the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. This is the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
Hey.
So Jake, Future is about ready to drop an album this upcoming Friday.
Nice.
Are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm kind of looking forward to this because of his features. Does he usually have... I think he has interesting features. What do you think?
Yeah, he teams up with like The Weeknd and Drake, and so I'm kind of wondering who else he might have teamed up with that I don't know about.
For sure. That album that he did with just Drake had some really good hits from it. So I think sometimes he's kind of a hit or miss. Personally, I think he's kind of a hit or miss. Kind of has some really good songs on it, but also has some fillers that could probably go harder on. But this album, I'm really looking forward to it. So on Friday, probably going to have to go give that a listen. But next, we're going to listen to Remember Me by T.I. on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. This is the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
What up?
So, Jake, I heard rumors a long time ago of Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather going to get together for a fight.
That would be intense.
Intense. Do you remember Mayweather's last fight?
Yeah, I watched the Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight, and it was an interesting fight. There was a lot of hugging going on and getting too close or whatever, having to be broken up, but not too bad of a fight. They definitely made a lot of money in the process. Yeah,
with that fight, I was expecting it just to be the best, just blow after blow, just two beasts going at it, but I heard it was kind of drug out a little bit. So with this, it's 2 different fighting styles.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to think about this fight, because boxing versus UFC or mixed martial arts, like, I think those are 2 completely different things. Like, how are they going to go about that?
Yeah,
what are the
rules going to be?
Yeah.
Like, can he kick or can he not kick anymore?
I don't know. Who do you think's going to get it?
I'm going to go with Floyd Mayweather just because he is the champ.
Yes.
And I think he's got a little bit of a reach on him, but yeah, I think he could do it.
All right. Personally, I want Floyd Mayweather because I'm a big Money Mayweather fan. So I'm going to go with that. I would like to see him stay undefeated because this last fight he was supposed to be retired, and it's this big, come out of retirement, but nothing is official yet because of a third-party deal no one signed, but it's rumored to be official within the next 2 weeks.
Sweet.
So, let's see if Floyd Mayweather can make some more money and get that win. Next is Racks by YC feature Future on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
Hey.
So, Jake, let me throw out a name for you real quick and see if this person even rings a bell. Aaron Carter.
Not ringing any bells.
Alright, how about the song, maybe Aaron's Party? I'll play it next for everyone that's maybe not putting a name to the face, but I guarantee most of you will know who it is. But what I'm bringing up Aaron Carter for is Aaron Carter is trying to strip a little beef with Justin Bieber.
Really?
Yes, saying that he's gonna, maybe put Justin Bieber out of business, kind of is what he's getting at, which I think is kind of interesting because Justin Bieber has been relevant since he has, came up.
Yeah.
And with Aaron Carter, I was looking up his albums, and they were from when he was super young, maybe, 14 or 16 or something. But this was in 2000, so it's like, okay,
yeah.
How do you think you're going to get back in the game? How do you think this is going to affect his upcoming music?
I think a lot of people would listen to his new stuff just to see how his voice has changed over time and like what kind of music he's writing and singing. And people might even rediscover him or discover him for the first time because I've never really heard of him, but with this whole Justin Bieber beef, I think I would actually listen to some songs to hear what he's all about.
Yeah, and I don't even know if this beef is really legit because maybe it's just trying to stir up the Justin Bieber fans. Maybe he's trying to go for that same fan base. So we will see. But for all of you that is wondering who Aaron Carter is, Aaron's Party by Aaron Carter is next on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
Hey.
So, got some news on some more of the Jenner family.
Oh, dear.
This time with Kendall.
Okay.
ASAP Rocky. Want to take a guess of where this one's going?
Yeah, somebody's dating somebody.
Ooh, unofficially dating maybe. Well, ASAP Rocky has this is the general been spotted together, but actually ASAP Rocky and Kendall Jenner have went on a double date with Tyga and Kylie. So, if you see a couple that's not really a couple, but you see them go on a double date, would you consider that dating?
I think it's still a date. Whether or not they're in a relationship, I'm not sure, but I think it is a date. Because
it's not like, we're just casually hanging out, I think it was a date.
It was planned.
Yeah. A date. The date was set. They hung out as a group. It was a double date. I'm going with you on that one. I thought this one was kind of random with ASAP Rocky. Don't know where this one's really going. The way I look at it, I'm all about the music industry. Maybe with ASAP Rocky and Tyga going to be hanging out on these double dates, maybe we'll get some good collabs in the future.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you listen to that?
Sure would.
Maybe they can rap about a double date or something. I don't know. But Dance by Big Sean is next on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. This is the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
Hey.
So, Jake, everyone out there that's listening needs to go to gvumedia.com. That is gvumedia.com. There's an interesting story on there that's really motivational. I'm having some troubles right now, getting motivated to work hard on my classes. And there's this story about a guy named Andrew. He's in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Would you think of most people in wheelchairs with a black belt in karate?
No way.
Or maybe working their way to get one?
That's crazy.
I've never heard of that. But there's this story on gvumedia.com that everyone really needs to go check out. It's amazing. I don't want to give it away, but basically, this kid just kind of fell in love with karate, and his mom didn't want him to do it, but his dad was right there with him the whole time, even went to karate with him and worked on getting his own black belt. So read about that at gvumedia.com for all of the interesting details and things that he had to overcome. Next is Look at Me Now by Chris Brown, feature Lil Wayne, on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1.
You're listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1, and you've got the Late Night Jays. It's Jake and Jeff here. So, Jeff, I found this very interesting story online today about an ESPN announcer who was fired after his broadcast of a Serena Williams tennis match.
Really?
Yes. He was describing Serena Williams' play as like guerrilla warfare, using guerrilla tactics, as in like she would kind of charge the ball after her opponent messed up on her serve.
Well, like, now that it's explained like that, to me that's good, because he's pouncing, or she is pouncing when her opponent is down to kind of finish the match. So,
right,
like the way he described it, the way he was meaning it, to me sounds good. But how did people take it?
So there were certain people who complained that because she is African American, and the word, guerrilla warfare and gorilla as in the animal, they seemed similar. So some viewers were offended that the announcer was calling her an animal, like a gorilla.
Ooh. I could kind of see where that's coming from, but also I don't think that ESPN should have fired him. I think that they should have let him make a statement, explain himself, because that's honestly really smart of him to think of that warfare and be like, wow, compare that, you know what I mean, on the fly. I think that's really good by him.
Yeah. But anyways, he is going to sue ESPN because he thinks the same thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. You're listening to The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. This is Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS, and you've got the Late Night Jays tonight with Jake and Jeff. And happy Valentine's Day.
Hey.
I've got some fun facts for you, Jeff.
All right.
So, Valentine's Day is actually the second most celebrated holiday in the world.
The world?
The whole world.
Okay.
Everywhere around the world, it's on February 14th, no other day, and almost everybody celebrates it.
What's the number one?
The number one most celebrated holiday is actually Christmas, and that whole New Year season.
Wow, and then second is Valentine's Day. That's kind of both involves gifts.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see it, I guess.
It's a big deal.
Your loved ones, Oh, that's warming.
Yeah. And my second fact is that 53% of women in the U.S. say they would break up with their significant other if they did not get them anything for Valentine's Day.
Ooh, wow. I mean, if she's going to break up with you on Valentine's Day over a gift, maybe she's not a keeper. Maybe, hey, all you fellas out there, maybe you should try this. See what she does, but really get her a gift just in case. But, maybe act like you didn't.
I actually did that.
Ooh.
And I'm glad I had the backup gift. Otherwise, I'd be solo right now.
Woo!
Coming up next is Riding Solo by Jason Derulo. You're listening to The Edge 88.1. You're listening to The Edge 88.1 KDPS. You're listening to the Late Night Jays. So, Jeffrey, are you familiar with Saturday Night Live?
I am. I don't watch it, but I have seen some commercials for it.
I gotcha. Well, there is a pretty funny little story involving a Dominican newspaper. They used Alec Baldwin's portrayal of Donald Trump in SNL as like the real picture of Donald Trump for their news article.
Wow. I mean, I've seen the commercials for SNL, and I think they did a really good job of making them look alike for the Trump and on the Hillary side. So, is that surprising? No, but you'd think a newspaper would, catch up on that.
Yeah.
Fake news, am I
Yeah.
right?
There's a little bit of fake news going on in Dominicans.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah, so really funny. It's like a serious article, and then it's a picture of Alec Baldwin on SNL, and it's just pretty funny.
I bet that didn't sit well with Trump.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to add the Dominican Republic to the banned countries list?
Uh-oh. He might. Maybe just a little bit of payback.
Yeah, absolutely. You're listening to The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. The show goes on with the Late Night Jays. This is The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. And Jeffrey, your story earlier about Andrew accomplishing that black belt in karate reminded me of a different story I saw on gvumedia.com about a student with cerebral palsy who earned a black belt in taekwondo.
Really?
So kind of interesting about how these GV students with, disabilities can still be, like a master in their martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting because in both cases their legs were like, there's not much use with their legs, so they can do everything with their arms.
Yeah,
so,
I think that these are two great stories that shows how they had a huge challenge in front of them and how they worked hard to get there.
Definitely. So I encourage everyone out there to check out gvumedia.com to learn more about these amazing accomplishments that some of these students go through. You're listening to The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. Hey, you're listening to the Late Night Jays on The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. And in local news, Iowa is looking to propose a bill that restricts a union's collective bargaining. For those of you who don't know, collective bargaining is how unions negotiate their contracts with employers to get their union members benefits, increased, at a higher standard. And so union members include teachers, firefighters, people who work for the government and the state. And so what they're looking to do is prevent them from bargaining so much for their benefits. So Jeffrey, I kind of wondered, in our economy right now, do you think we can afford to have teachers, bargaining their benefits? It's a little more expensive than what employers want to do.
Yeah, I don't really know the best way to put it, but to think of it as teachers, kind of have our future riding on their back a little bit. They really is what the future is about. The children of today are, going to grow up. So I think that teachers are, not seen as how important as they really are.
Mm-hmm. I agree that they deserve good benefits, but I'm not sure if they get to demand what their benefits are.
Yeah, I don't know about the demanding. There's other teachers that are out there that can replace them.
Right.
So that's kind of a tricky topic.
They're not getting what they want, and they're throwing a fit. But, hey, protesting is legal, and that's fine. Everyone has their own opinion. Alright, you're listening to The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. You're listening to The Edge, 88.1 KDPS. This is the Late Night Jays. And before we sign off, one more big piece of Iowa news. According to MoneyRates.com, Iowa is the best place to retire. The best place.
Are you telling me the best place in the United States?
Yes, the best place in the U.S. to retire. We're one up above Hawaii. Isn't that something?
What? Alright, think about it this way. When you're old, hey, you might fall.
Yes.
Have they not lived through an Iowa weather?
Probably not.
Okay, if you're gonna fall outside, I would like to gamble my chances of living through the night, maybe in your driveway, in the winter, of Hawaii, not Iowa. You know what I mean? It's has this website really lived in Iowa? Don't get me wrong, I love Iowa, but over Hawaii, come on.
I feel ya. But hey, there's 4 other criteria along with climate. There's health, economy, personal safety and proportion of older residents.
Okay.
So because there's already some older residents in Iowa, it's a nice place to retire because you're not alone.
I could. Hey, they wouldn't get lonely.
Yeah. I mean, Iowa's a friendly place.
Iowa is known as being very friendly. I agree with that statement.
All right. You're listening to The Edge 88.1 KDPS.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fitzgerald, and with me is Todd Bailey, a videographer in the marketing department here at Grandview. So, Todd, I wanted to start off with talking to you about a new subject that's kind of popping up and being very, I'd say, important that's going to come up, and that would be the topic of drones.
Absolutely.
So have you had any personal experiences with trying to take video with a drone so far for school-related?
I have not used a drone for any of the projects that I work on or have worked on at Grandview, and the reason being the rules around drone use when using it for a business for marketing purposes. It's actually been really tough to use a drone for those purposes. So as the FAA has tried to clarify, and there's been a lot of talk now for a few years about regulations that the federal government's going to put in place related to drone use, they have clarified that a little bit here in the last few months. But up until then, it's been a tough tool for professionals to use for marketing purposes.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So with it being very difficult, is there a way that you guys can kind of go around that? Can you hire out, or is there something that you could do to personally do it yourself?
Yes, there are professionals that offer that service. There are a few hoops that you have to jump through with the federal government in order to be able to do that. And like I said, for a while, those hoops, it was a little bit cloudy. Some people thought that the rules in place meant this. Some people thought they meant that. Some people thought that it was cloudy enough that they would just go ahead and do it, even though they maybe were violating some rules. And it's made it somewhat challenging because there's that content out there. It looks great. There is a use for it, especially in my position here. I have a list. I actually have on my computer a list of several different ways that I would use a drone if I had that opportunity on campus. But I just haven't been willing to make that leap yet or hire that professional to come in and do it yet.
So with some things that you'd want to do, what is a video that you'd like to make with a drone if you had the chance to?
Well, our campus has changed pretty dramatically in the last 15 to 20 years. So having that ability to go up in the sky and just show an aerial view of the campus, I think, would be very interesting. We also have kind of an interesting layout to our campus. It's kind of long and narrow. So just flying a drone from the west end of campus to the east side of campus, I think could be very interesting and make for some good, nice, pretty video.
You describe our campus as being long and skinny, and that brings up topics. It goes across a very busy road, and so then you kind of come into some kind of challenging subjects with you have to fly a drone over a busy street that might be distracting, and so that might cause some wrecks.
Yeah, you're not supposed to fly a drone over people. Driving it over a busy street, not only a busy street, but it's actually a U.S. highway. You can't be within 5 miles of an airport. I don't think we're within 5 miles of an airport, so that's not a problem. But there are liability issues when you start taking something out like this and putting it in an environment where you have lots of traffic, either cars or people and buildings, and so there's some insurance liabilities that also come into play as well.
So what would your biggest headache be with having a drone yourself for the campus purposes?
For me, it'd be great. It would be great. It wouldn't be a headache. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a blast. It would also be fun to use with communication students so they can just see another tool that has become pretty popular in the use and production of video. The headache is making sure that it's done right and you don't wind up violating any federal regulations, and then find yourself facing some hefty fines.
Another thing that could be kind of difficult is invasion of privacy, and so that could be a headache there. How would you try to work around that?
I think that comes to what are the shots that you show? How high do you fly it? Really the idea is that if I had access to a drone and was cleared to be able to use one for our marketing purposes, or we hired a company to come in and do it, a lot of the ideas that I have in mind wouldn't even take the drone high enough or into positions where it's not going to show the neighboring areas. I mean, you may be able to see them kind of in a little bit of a distance, but some of the ideas I have center more around our plaza and the walkway right down campus, or in the green space over by the residential facilities. So privacy is definitely one of the concerns, and but for the purposes that I kind of visualize how we might use it on our campus, not one for me.
All right, well, I would like to thank you, Todd Bailey, again for stepping in and sharing your thoughts on drones. I am Jeffrey Fitzgerald, and that is it. This is the Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I am Jeffrey, and right now we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick, a little throwback to the fall football season in the NFL. If everyone remembers, Colin sat down or took a knee during the national anthem. So he's a week out from going to take this open trade deal, and it's coming up that he's making a statement saying that this year he will stand for the national anthem. And this, I think that, with him going to go for this open trade deal, that he's really trying to make himself look better, and because, teams aren't going to want this negative press that comes along with him, and maybe he's just really going to try to better his image this year. Something that he did to try to better his image from, kneeling, was he started a foundation, and that they would donate $100,000 a month. And for the last 10 months, they have helped underprivileged people throughout the country. So that's pretty amazing. So you all have to stay tuned to see, where he gets traded, if he gets traded, and what will happen with him this upcoming season. So next is Ballin' by Young Jeezy and Lil Wayne on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and next, we are going to talk about the Catch Me Outside girl that appeared on Dr. Phil. So I think she's getting a lot of attention that I don't think she really deserves. Like, she's this 13-year-old girl that was disrespectful on TV a while back, and now she's just becoming famous because of memes. Like, I don't think that's a good example that America should, that American kids should be looking at. And now it's reported that she is getting paid $40,000 to appear at a Rolling Loud festival. Like, the minimum reported being paid is $30,000. And later on, this same, festival is throwing her a 14th birthday party. Like, for one, why does a 13 gonna be 14 in a month? Why is she getting paid $40,000 for being a brat on public television? I just think this is absolutely crazy for her getting all this attention. And, let us know what you think. I hope everyone else feels the same way, but, just let us know on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey. So now, we're going to talk a little bit about Tyga. So Tyga had a lawsuit thrown at him for about $100,000 from a promoter of a club, like maybe, a branch of clubs. Tyga signed a contract that said he would only, perform at certain clubs. It didn't say that he couldn't go out to other clubs. It just meant that he wasn't allowed to do promoting. when you think about this in a athletic version of this, certain teams have certain sponsorships. So maybe Nike. You don't see these teammates for certain teams wearing Adidas if they are sponsored by Nike. That just looks bad. So really, Tyga himself is just a brand. So I can see why he's getting sued, and it looks like now he's only going to have to pay up to $65,000. You know, he's not showing up to court. Maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, but at least, maybe, lesson learned, and he will move on, not break any more contracts. Next is Mother Up by Tyga featuring Nicki Minaj on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1, I'm Jeffrey, and now I want to ask everyone that's listening a question. Do you know who LeBron James is? I hope all of you just answered yes. Even if you're not a big basketball fan, I would hope that most people know who LeBron James is. So, LeBron had an interview recently, and he was talking about, he had an apology to his wife for, he wanted to apologize for on his journey to becoming the GOAT. For all of you that don't know, GOAT stands for greatest of all time. He kind of considers himself that, you know. Is that a narcissist move? I don't know. He's a great ball player, don't get me wrong. So, when he says he's on the road, the traveling path of becoming the GOAT, he has lost, sometimes he said he has lost sight of his kids and his wife, that he's maybe lost focus, that he should have put more focus on it. And his wife, being a good supportive wife, she was like, whoa, why are you apologizing? And that just shows how strong that their relationship is, that how he can really focus on his career and not let their marriage slip, and, you know, his support with his kids slip. So I think that's just a really good example for all the professional ball players out there, that they don't always get that good media for off the court. They, you know, some players get bad media for doing bad things, and I just think this really shows a great ball player, a legend, and now he is, you know, it's showing his dad's side, his career path to become the greatest of all time. Next is The After Party by Charlie XCX featuring Lil Yachty on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey. So, Young Thug and Wiz Khalifa have been reported cooking up some fire in the studio. You don't know how excited this makes me. Young Thug has produced some really good music, and I have been almost a day one Wiz Khalifa fan. Throw way back to like middle school for me. And now it's reported that they have already completed a song called Gang Up. This is a collaboration for the movie The Fate of the Furious soundtrack. And don't even get me started on this Fast and the Furious 8 movie. With Wiz Khalifa and Young Thug, for one, just being on that with a collab, you have other people on this album like Migos, G-Eazy, Lil Uzi Vert, Quavo, Travis Scott, Lil Yachty, Jeremiah, Ty Dolla $ign, Sage the Gemini. You know, you gotta have some Pitbull on there because he's been on some older movies. So just looking over this album with such strong music, I can only imagine what the actual movie is gonna become. Every movie has just became better and better, and so with such a strong soundtrack, I can't wait for April 14th for the movie to come out. So go check it out. Up next, It's Nothing by Wiz Khalifa feature 2 Chainz. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1.
Listen to the...
For all of you dog lovers out there, you need to go to gvumedia.com. That is gvumedia.com. therapydog.com. When you first get to the page, you're going to see some videos come up. Click on the Therapy Dog video. It's a great story about a Grandview University student who, along with going to school, is training a dog to be a service therapy dog for veterans. And you will see some cool tricks it does, kind of the reasoning behind why she wants to do it. It's just a really great story. I suggest all of you go out and watch it. Even if you don't love dogs, this will make you realize why dogs are such valuable assets to the human race. On Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Hey, it's Jeffrey and J. Marie on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. So, do you remember that one app that came out this summer, like Pokemon Go or something?
Yeah. Who couldn't forget it?
Exactly, but I mean, I think I've already forgot it because I think it was so hyped up and everyone was doing it, and now all of a sudden it's just gone.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype over the app, and it really didn't last long. I remember at one point in time, I just wanted to get it to see what the hype was about, but I didn't have any storage on my phone, so I couldn't get it, but it quickly died down.
I definitely debated on getting it, but I was one of those people that was like, oh no, it's so dumb, and made fun of my friends for wasting all their data and driving around just doing that. So I was like, nope, can't be a hypocrite, gotta stick to my guns. and now it's Nothing. So
yeah.
Speaking of Nothing, it's Nothing Next by Wiz Khalifa, feature 2 Chainz.
Listen to
It's Jeffrey, Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. With me is J. Marie.
Hey.
So, we're in college and we're around a lot of the opposite sex. So, and you got a lot of people dating or, just hanging out. So, do you believe in fate?
I kind of do. I really do.
Do you think there's that one person, or do you think you just will know when it's the right person?
I really think that there's someone for everybody. It just depends on whether you want to find that person or not, or how long it takes you to find them.
I mean, I agree with that. I'm kind of complicated about that. I don't know if I believe in fate, that one person. I definitely think, oh, maybe even if it's not that one person, that you can still fall in love and be happy. And it might not be that one person, but who knows. But We Found Love by Rihanna is next. It's Jeffrey on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. With me is J. Marie.
Hey.
So, we live in a pretty cool big town of Des Moines, I'd say city of Des Moines, Iowa. So, it's got the Capitol, got really cool views. Also, it's lots of restaurants and stuff. And romantic stuff to do in downtown Des Moines. Do you have any idea of what your favorite thing to do in downtown Des Moines would be?
I'm actually not from here, so I don't know a lot of things to do, but I've just gone for a bike ride downtown, rented one of the bikes and rode around, and that was pretty cool. So I think that would be something romantic you could do for a date. Yeah,
in downtown, where those bikes are kept, or by the art sculpture garden, and I think that's really cool. It's really cool during the day, and at night when it's all lit up, it's really pretty. And there's some buildings that have different lights on them, and I just think with the weather right now is the perfect time to just go out, go on a date, go out to eat, maybe go for a little walk after, maybe rent a little bicycle.
Jeffrey, I think you're trying to hint at that you want to take me on a date to the sculpture garden. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're definitely wrong. But hey, I mean, maybe there's a special girl out there that can get my romantic date. But next is Boyfriend by Justin Bieber. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. With me is J. Marie.
Hey.
And I'm Jeffrey. So, things that have been really getting to me lately are things known as pet peeves.
Ooh.
Everyone has them, and my personal one, at the moment, is in class. About a week and a half ago, we learned about this thing called rule of thirds. It's basically how movies, TV shows, pictures, just anything like that, anything on TV is just how it's set up on the screen. Things aren't centered, they're, set off to the right. And so the rule of thirds is basically, it looks like a tic-tac-toe board. So you'll have things on the right half and top or bottom, everything's kind of just off-centered. So now, of course, after I learned that, I go through Instagram. All I see is, oh my gosh, Rule of Thirds, like National Geographic. It's like, wow, this is really good. But then you see like, you know, normal people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this just drives me crazy. Do you have anything like that?
Well, as far as pet peeves go, mine are a little simpler than yours. I cannot stand when people do not say excuse me or thank you. I think that is so rude. Or sorry. The new thing is my bad.
Might be.
Yeah, you can just say sorry. It's okay. It's normal to say sorry, guys.
Yeah, and that thank you, one of my buddies was complaining this. I'm like, oh, no one responds to thank you the right way. Like saying, oh, no problem, or yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was saying that the proper way to respond to thank you is, you're welcome. And so ever since that, like, whenever someone says thank you to me, I'm always just like, you're welcome. And it just, like, every time I just think back to that, and I'm like, oh, dang it, why'd someone have to point that out? Alright, but some pet peeves may be forever. Speaking of forever, Forever by Chris Brown is next. It's Jeffrey in on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Jay Marie, how you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Jeff.
So, I'm pretty tired. It's a Monday night, you know, got a lot of studying and stuff to do this weekend. I didn't get a nap in today. And I mean, I never get naps in. Do you take naps often?
All the time.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Do you think that naps are, like, necessary for college students or just anyone? Or do you think that people should not nap and just continue on with life?
I think it depends on how you function. Some people in college I know take 2 to 3 hour naps. I think that is ridiculous. I think taking a 30-minute power nap is okay. It's necessary sometimes, but as far as napping for hours, that can get ridiculous.
See, I don't think when I sleep for 30 minutes, I don't think that I wake up and I'm like, oh wow, I feel rested.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if I take like a 2 hour nap, I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna knock this homework out after this nap, and I wake up and I'm just like, yep, definitely should not have taken that nap. But
yeah.
Oh, So Good is next by B.O.B. It's Jeffrey, Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88, and with me is Jay Marie.
Hey. So
kind of a tricky, like, stuff that's going on right now with the clown situation, and, you know, some of that nasty stuff. So with that, people protecting themselves, do you think that people should be allowed to have tasers or pepper spray or even a gun? Do you think people should be able to have those?
I think so. I have a lot of friends. Even my mom carries pepper spray, tasers, all that stuff. It's just for protection. Now, sometimes it can get out of control and used the wrong way. But I think if the protection is used properly, then it's okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if they, you know, like if you try to take away people's guns or like the right to have a taser or something, you're just taking it out of the hands of the people that, you know, follow the rules and aren't out to harm anyone. You're not taking it away from the, you know, non-licensed gun owner that's gonna get his hands on a, you know, the serial numbers filed down on the gun type of a deal. So you're not really helping anyone in the situation.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things right now. So next is Be On You by Flo Rida and Neo on Des Moines Radio Mashup.
That was Comfortable by K Camp, Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1, DJ J Marie. Next up is Party by Beyonce. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. It's DJ J Marie with Jeffrey.
Hey.
And if the Kardashians haven't been in the news enough, it's finally something serious. I guess Kim Kardashian got robbed at gunpoint in Paris. They robbed her for like millions of dollars. And I was reading on many different social media sites, they've actually been bashing her, saying, oh, well, you have enough money anyway. They should have killed you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, like, even though she kind of flaunts herself around, at the end of the day, Kim is still human. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone necessarily deserves to get, you know, robbed at gunpoint. Yeah, she might have millions and millions that she can just throw away, but at the same point, it's just like, you know, that was someone's life that was just endangered. People shouldn't be making jokes about that.
Yeah, and reportedly, Kanye West had to leave from doing the concert to go to her rescue. So, good. Shout out to Kanye. That was good of him. And next up is Heartless by Kanye West. Des Moines Radio Mashup Edge 88.1. It's DJ J Marie and my boy Jeffrey.
Yo, yo.
So tomorrow at the Wells Fargo Arena, tomorrow is finally the day. The Drake and Future concert is finally going to be here.
Okay.
Are you going, Jeffrey?
Nope. I wish I was.
I feel bad for you. I think it's going to be a really, really good concert.
Oh, no doubt. It'll be amazing, I'm sure.
Yeah, the doors open at 6:30. I will promptly be there at 6:30. I can't wait. So up next we have Jumpman by Drake and Future. Des Moines Radio Mashup Edge 88.1. It's DJ J Marie back with Jeffrey.
Hey.
And if there wasn't any better way to bring in the Halloween season, we have clowns terrorizing people in America. Have you heard about this?
Just a little bit, but not too much.
Like, people have gotten really scared because of this. And I know there's a lot of people out here who have phobias of clowns. And I've heard of people going to jail over this, people getting stabbed because people are really scared. Would you be scared if you saw a clown just out of nowhere?
All I'm saying is if I was riding my scooter at night, taking my dog on a walk, and this creepy, slow-walking clown came up to me, all I'm saying is I would definitely be running.
Same. That's why I think I need to get some pepper spray, maybe a taser or two, just to protect myself from these crazy clowns.
I got my scooter, so maybe I can fold it up real quick
and get out of town.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Earned It by The Week. Des Moines Radio Mashup Edge 88.1. DJ J Marie and Jeffrey.
Hey.
So, can I ask you a question?
Well, you're gonna ask it either way if I say no.
You're right. Do you text and drive?
Ooh, honestly, yeah, I do a little bit.
I think 90% of Americans probably text and drive because I have to admit I do too. Mm-hmm. And I have to check myself because I was driving and I saw a trucker texting and driving. Now, if that is not the worst thing in the world, a trucker texting and driving. I wanted to record him, but I had already drove past and it was ridiculous. And I think there's a lot of ways besides texting and driving that's distracting, such as snapping, even changing the song. People eat while they drive. All those things. So guys, be more mindful while you're driving because it is very dangerous. You have to love yourself, just like Justin Bieber.
For all the times that you rain on my parade.
Des Moines Music Mashup Station, KDPS.
Des Moines Radio Mashup, it's the Edge 88.1 with DJ J Marie and Jeffrey.
Hey.
So, commercials. Nicki Minaj endorsing T-Mobile.
Okay.
There's no way that Nicki Minaj actually has T-Mobile as a cell phone service. Do you think so?
No, I think that's kind of like saying that Nicki Minaj has that like Walmart pay plan.
Yeah, that's not realistic. Can you think of anything else that celebrities endorse that they probably do not use?
Probably. Okay, maybe the like Kim Kardashian, the Shape Up shoes.
No way.
I'm just like, okay, you see her in these like maybe $1,000 boots or something, and you're like, oh yeah, she's not wearing like $50 Shape Up Skechers.
Yeah, I wouldn't even wear Shape Ups. I don't even think the average American will wear Shape Ups. But next up is Bees in the Trap by Nicki Minaj.
Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
You've got the Evening Jays here.
Yeah, you do. Alright, Jake, do you consider yourself a shoe enthusiast?
A little bit. I've got a lot of different kinds, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to look up shoes.
What kinds do you like to wear?
So I'm actually rocking these new ones called Hey Dude, and they're super comfortable. They slip right on.
Like a slipper kind of shoe, or like how do you describe that?
Yeah, kind of like a slip-on shoe that's super soft, and it's like a felt material. There's no laces, and they look pretty stylish.
That sounds comfy. Well, today I was looking around on the web and found that Nike is releasing the LeBron 15s.
Those will be expensive.
Oh yeah, they are. It's called Ashes, so of course that sounds like a charcoal color. Look them up. They're a really pretty shoe. Releases October 28th. You said that you think that's going to be an expensive shoe?
I'm sure it is.
$185.
Oh my goodness.
Would you pay that much for a shoe?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe if I needed them for a sport or something, but just for walking around, I'm going to stick with my Hey Dudes.
If I'm paying that much for a shoe, I don't even think I'd want to run in them. I think I'd, wear them in my house only, maybe post a picture of them on Instagram,
Then what good are shoes if you're just going to wear them in your house, take pictures of them?
Hey, I don't know. I think they're cool, though. So, everyone go check them out. Next is Touch on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. You got Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1 with Jake and Jeff.
It's the Evening Jays.
The Evening Jays, here we are. Alright, so next topic is Young Thug buys his fiance a car. What do you think he bought her, Jake?
Probably a super expensive car, souped up, got all the necessities, everything you don't need as well.
There you go. For her birthday, he bought his fiance a Range Rover.
Oh,
if you
man.
cannot pick the most stereotypical, wife wanting an expensive car, to me, Range Rover is, the go-to.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was thinking, too. That's pricey, and it's big. I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah, I mean, I find this is probably a better purchase. You see all these rappers out here buying necklaces, rings, just grills for their teeth. You just find them buying all this random stuff. I could see, buying a fiance a car, maybe a little smarter choice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I mean, something smaller and sporty is kind of I guess, what I would want to roll around in, not necessarily, drag kids around in. But Range Rovers are pricey and nice.
Hey, we'll see if Young Thug has any kids to be driving around, but I'm sure that's probably not the Range Rover's main purpose. All right, that's it on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
It's the Evening Jays.
Yup. All right, Jake. So, when you think of the NBA, do you think of that as a big money industry?
I know it is. Their games are always on. They've got games a lot of sponsors. I know they're big money makers.
Oh yeah, whenever I think of NBA, I'm thinking, big. I just think of how much the players make for one, and I can imagine how much they make in sales with, gear and ticket sales and TV sales. I would imagine, that they make a lot of money. But I can tell you that 14 of the 30 NBA teams have reported that they lost money in the 2016-2017 season.
That's nearly half of them.
That is nearly half of them. Almost. So 14 teams that reported a loss last season include Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets, we got Memphis Grizzlies out there, the Bucks, Timberwolves. Those are some big names that... I mean, I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I even know those names.
I've been to a Timberwolves game twice, and, I mean, there's a lot of empty seats, unfortunately.
And I think that's crazy, because you'd think, NBA, wow, you'd think that those stands would be pretty packed.
No, you could pretty much probably walk up and get a ticket if it's not a huge game. Just a normal game during the week, you can pretty much walk up and get in.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, Young, Dumb, and Broke is next. I thought that fit the scene. So, Young, Dumb, and Broke on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
The Evening Jays.
The Evening Jays are back. Alright, so Ty Dolla $ign returns with his sophomore album.
What is it?
It is called Beach House 3.
I like that title. It's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, Ty Dolla $ign's came out with some good music. The last official songs that are tracks that he's released was back in 2016 on his mixtape Campaign. So 2016's been a while ago, don't you think?
For sure. It's about time he's got something new.
You'd think so. I think all, artists that would like to stay relevant really need to produce an album or a mixtape at least once a year to stay relative, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like to see artists who keep coming up with more stuff, not just getting satisfied off their previous success, but keep on building, for that fan base.
Exactly, and just growing and really showing your fan base, what you can do. So a lot of information hasn't really released on this yet, just besides the release date is October 27th, and the artwork. The artwork looks really cool. Looks like a photoshopped island of Ty and a $. Might want to go check that out. It's pretty sweet. Alright, Say Ah by Trey Songz is next on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. You got the Evening Jays with Jake and Jeff.
What's up?
Alright, so do you know much about Lil Yachty?
I've heard some of his stuff, and he's kind of like a mumbling rapper. Like, you kind of can't really make out what he says all the time.
Exactly, you do have that right. He's known as what's called a mumble rapper, kind of the modern day mumble rap artist. But I just want to talk about his success for a minute. He is 20 years old, born August 23rd, 1997. Don't want to give away my age or anything, but that's pretty close to me. And he bought his mother a house recently.
That's pretty amazing what you can do with that type of money. And if you use it the right way, that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't really care what people say about, oh, he's garbage, this or that. I think he has some pretty good music talent. And if you're going to take that money, and he has a quote on his Instagram and Twitter that says, "Made it out my mama's crib and bought my mama a crib." I think that's pretty cool, because for a 20-year-old to, live in a harder situation, make it up through rapping, make a lot of money, and then to buy your mom a house, that's goals right there.
He's living the dream, it sounds like. That's pretty cool.
It does. And his mom, sent him this huge text, like, thank you so much. Like, it's a pretty cool story, so you might want to go check that out. He has Money to Blow. Speaking of Money to Blow, Birdman featured Drake and Lil Wayne on Money to Blow next. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. This is the Evening Jays with Jeffrey. I'm here to tell you, I know you're probably bored out there on this Wednesday night, so go to gvumedia.com. That is gvumedia.com. On that home page, I want you to go click on the trick shot video. It's a very entertaining video. It has some basketball trick shots. Everyone loves those trick shots and think they're pretty cool. So go check that out. Let us know what you think on Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1. I'm Jeffrey, and with me is Jake.
You've got the Evening Jays here.
Alright, so we like to talk about movies a lot, either coming out soon or ones that just got released. So I got Kingsman 2 for us to talk about, Jake.
Sweet.
Alright, it releases September 22nd, so that's in a couple days.
Yes.
So have you seen the first one?
No, I haven't.
Alright, so the storyline for the first one is, I like to explain it as a younger, like James Bond type kid, kind of grows up. His dad dies at the beginning, and so he gets kind of taken into this undercover, like, special ops type mission. He goes through it. Great first movie. The second one's coming out, and I got a twist for you. Channing Tatum's in it. What? Yeah, he kind of plays, it looks like, a cowboy role, and so the whole thing of, James Bond is like the gentleman's theme.
Mm-hmm. Like Great Britain type style.
Yes. So with this, it's kind of like a weird combo, like the complete opposites. Cowboys and gentlemen's, like, suits.
The English and the Americans teaming up?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what it looks like. Do you think this is going to be a good one, or do you think it's going to flop?
I would like to judge it off the first one, which I haven't seen yet. So if I'm really interested, I'll watch the first one here in a couple days, and then I'll go see Kingsman 2. I bet I would be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can tell you the first one's great. Personally, I think the second one's going to be great. So let us know what you think at KDPS88. Tweet at us at KDPS88. And let us know if you think it's going to be a flop or not. Alright. Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1.
You've got Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1 KDPS. This is the Evening Jays with Jake
and Jeff.
So Jeff, unfortunately, I read a story about a 19-year-old college football player who died from his injuries while playing football.
That's really sad. I did hear about that today.
His name was Robert Graves. He played cornerback for Midwestern State, and I guess he was tackling somebody, and he hurt his neck, like, very bad. He was life-flighted to the hospital, and unfortunately he didn't make it.
Yeah, those injuries are very scary. I remember when I was younger at a Iowa football game, I saw, like, for the first time, someone when they were going to tackle, they had their head down and just dropped and didn't get up for, a good amount of time. And I just remember, looking around, seeing that for the first time, how scary that really was.
It's not good. It's not how you tackle, but sometimes it just happens. This is why referees are trying to crack down on that, because obviously you want to play football to keep playing football. You don't want to play, to risk your life.
Yeah, and not just the thing with like how they tackle for like getting injured, but also like on the mental side of stuff. They're coming out with a lot of movies and documentaries right now about concussions, and that's a huge deal that they're really trying to focus on too.
It really is. I'll keep you informed as we keep going on this semester. You're listening to The Edge 88.1 KDPS. You've got the Evening Jays on Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS. So Jeff, yesterday, big news from Apple. They released iOS 11.
I noticed that. I didn't know that they actually released that. It's kind of a given when they drop new phones that they have new software out. Mm-hmm. But my roommate last night asked me, "Oh yeah, I just downloaded this. You check this out." I was like, "Oh no," because I usually wait a little bit before I get it so they get the bugs out.
Right.
I looked at it and I was like, "Yeah, I might as well go ahead and get it." So I got it last night.
I actually am waiting to see if there is any bugs, so I'm anxious to hear what you have to say. But I read today that the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth tabs on the new control center, if you tap them, you'd assume that they'd be turned off, correct?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Well, that's not actually the case. They just disconnect. So if you actually want to turn off your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi, you have to go back into that settings tab and you have to manually turn them off yourself.
That does not sound efficient, because now you have to still spend a lot of time to go into your settings and still turn it off. So to me, those buttons seem pointless.
I'm still enjoying my iOS 10. I can do it on my control center.
Oh. Well, what else do you have on them?
Another new feature is screen recording. So I'm sure you've heard of screenshots.
Yep.
Take a picture of your screen.
Yep.
Now you can record what's going on your screen.
Huh. I feel like that could be good and also bad.
Right. Definitely helpful, like if you need to give someone a tutorial of how to do something. But bad in the sense, I don't know, young people are young people sending bad stuff.
On Snapchat. I hear you there.
You're listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS. You've got Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS. This is the Late Night Jays. So Jeff, a little more unfortunate news. I guess our radio station has been defunded by our school, and they're no longer going to be providing the money to keep us on air.
Really, yeah. I'm in the comm department. I honestly just heard about this today. I guess it's been going on in the works for quite some time now, but I honestly just heard about it today.
I guess they just got to make some budget cuts, and we were one of them. So if you feel like you want to donate to our cause, keep the Evening Jays on the air, you can go to youcaring.com and then search up KDPS Radio. We've got a fundraising website there. You can donate if you'd like. You can check out what we're doing for events and stuff. Trying to keep us on air, folks. We're struggling, but I think we'll be okay. Everyone
loves the Evening Jays, so give us a shout out.
That's right. This is Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS. You've got the Evening Jays on Des Moines Radio Mashup, The Edge 88.1 KDPS.
Hey.
So Jeff, I've got some exciting news for you.
Good, let's hear it.
It's also exciting for me because I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Ah, nerd.
Episode 9, Star Wars. The release date got pushed back to December 20th of 2019, but they're looking for extras to be in the movie.
Hey, extras. What kind of extras?
So from the picture and from the website that they had where you can apply, it looks like it's for stormtroopers.
Ooh, this is your moment of fame. But honestly, how are you going to be famous besides the credit roll?
You won't, but wouldn't that be so cool to say that you were in a Star Wars movie? Like, you were a stormtrooper?
I think so. If I was them, I would say, hey, don't even pay me, just let me keep the costume. That'd be cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be great.
If they paid for me to go, fly out to the movie scenes, like, where they're filming, give me the costume, I wouldn't even need any money. I'd do it for free.
Did you say they needed tall people, short people?
Well, so all the stormtroopers are kind of relatively the same height, so they are looking for people on the taller side. Like, you can't be too short, because obviously that's, it's going to look a little off. So, you and I are kind of tall, Jeff. I think we could possibly be stormtroopers.
I would say we should do that for sure.
All right, you're listening to the Edge 88.1 KDPS. You've got the Evening Jays on KDPS, Des Moines Radio Mashup. So, Jeff, we talk about movies, and last Friday, American Assassin premiered.
Ooh, what's that about? Tell me.
So, if you remember, it's about a young agent who teams up with a veteran agent, and they head to the Middle East to take down a mysterious operative.
Ooh, that sounds good. What do you get for ratings?
So, it actually got the second best on sales for the weekend. It still fell behind It, of course, because It is a big old success right now.
Yeah.
But on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 35%.
Ooh, man, see, I don't know, like, that's kind of hard to say, 35%, but it was still the best-selling. I mean, that could mean people went to it and then just weren't satisfied, but
maybe the trailers are really good. People thought it would be good. I kind of thought it might be all right. I didn't go, but I wonder if people were disappointed after they saw it, because 35% is not good.
Yeah, I always get really upset when a trailer looks amazing. You get super hyped up, and it just doesn't live up to it.
Happens all the time.
I agree.
You're listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1. You've got the Evening Jays on Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1 KDPS. This is Jake here, and I was just checking out gvumedia.com, and I found this pretty cool video about Grandview's new shooting sports team. New as of last year, Grandview introduced shooting sports to their long list of athletics. And that's so cool, and they actually did really well in their first year. I won't give it away how well they did, but go on to gvumedia.com to check out that sweet video on Grandview's new shooting sports team. You're listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1. You've got the Evening Jays right here on Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1 KDPS. So Jeff, tonight you may not know, but I know, is the finale for America's Got Talent.
Really?
Do you know anything about America's Got Talent? Have you heard of it at least?
I mean, I've heard of the show, but I have not watched it.
It's a show where just regular people can come on, perform, do what they want to do, and they get a shot at $1 million and a headline show in Las Vegas if they're the grand winner.
Ooh, wow.
That's decided by the people, online voting, live, tonight, actually.
Wow.
So we've got, classic, collection of singers. There's a lot of singers out there. But this year in the top 10, we've got a comedian. We've got a woman and her dog who are homeless, and they're on this big stage, and they do a bunch of stunts together. And that's really cool.
Oh, that's kind of a cool story.
Very cool. And we've also got a light balance group, which is a dance group who does stuff in the dark, and they put on a nice show.
I feel like I'd be interested in that. That sounds pretty cool.
It's a really cool variety show. It's like a talent show, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's so much variety, you never know what you're going to get. And the coolest part is you can interact with it. At home you can vote and decide who wins. That's the coolest part.
Have you voted yet this year?
I have voted this year. Not tonight, of course, but I have voted, and it's pretty cool. Tomorrow, the results at 7 Central. I'm looking forward to see who wins that $1 million.
We'll see if your person wins that $1 million.
All right, let's go. You're listening to Des Moines Radio Mashup, the Edge 88.1.